Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. I'm going to start with this. If someone can't explain something in 60 seconds, they probably don't understand it. Albert Einstein or Ripple CTO David Schwartz. Take a listen to David talking about tokenization.
Tokenization can improve efficiency by eliminating some of the problems with asset transfer and ownership. If you've ever bought a house, you know that it's very complicated to determine who owns a house. There's a lot of paperwork involved with the sale, recording the sale. There's a risk of fraud in the delivery of the payment and, of course, in being able to prove ownership of the asset. Tokenization can eliminate all those problems by using digital distributed ledgers to track the ownership of assets. That also simplifies things like if you want to borrow against an asset, use the asset for collateral, the person who's providing you the loan can more easily determine that you own the asset, and they can make sure that you aren't borrowing from a number of different lenders.
So David just summed up real estate tokenization in less than 60 seconds. And you know, it's going to cut down on so much of the cost when buying a house as well. Blockchain is going to save people money as we push into the future. Now, this is a topic I often have with the average Joe I meet in person. What will the tokenized world look like? I always make a point to say we need a digital bill of human rights. Privacy will be the main concern of most citizens around the world. I feel as if we should be able to accommodate the digitally savvy and the digital skeptics alike. What this guy's talking about is digital ID and why it's going to be needed. I am not a fan of digital ID at all, but as we continue to push into the digital world, everybody's going to have a digital ID. But I think we need to get a digital bill of rights to go with that ID. And I think the same thing should happen around CBDCs as well. The problem here in the US is everything is now fast tracking. You have lawmakers trying to get laws put ahead of a CBDC, and you have a government trying to fast track a CBDC at the same time. Same thing is happening in other countries as well. I just hope that somehow we have laws ahead of a CBDC, especially when it comes to privacy. The key difference between now and the dot-com boom, which make it more likely for financial services to be disrupted. So 1, easier access to funding. 2, change demographics. 3, government and regulatory support for innovation. And 4, high and growing internet penetration rates facilitating financial inclusion. The access to a form of financial services. Currently, the World Bank estimates that 2 billion adults globally are without access to financial services. That's what's holding us back. And everybody knows it at this point. Once you get those 2 billion adults on board to the new financial system, it is then go time. That's what I was talking about in that previous video. That's where the flip of the switch moment would happen. And I think we're getting close to that now. Every day I see more and more people now having access to a bank account, thanks to Ripple, Stellar, and a few other networks as well. But everybody always wants to know when it's going to happen. But you need 2 things put in place. You have to have full access all throughout the world, and you have to have regulations as well. Regulations, though, are right around the corner. Honestly, I don't even think we're a year away from the new financial system anymore. You could see how everything is now coming together. Take a listen to Brad Garlinghouse right here.
banking community, there's a few banks that kind of sit on the top of the entire global payments infrastructure. And all the other banks end up paying them to help settle the global liquidity that's required for commerce, for small businesses, for retail. And across the board, it's kind of amazing that we still live in a world where to send money to London today, the fastest thing for you or I to do would be to drive to, well, for you, for SFO, for me here in New York, to JFK or Newark, and fly the money to London.
Once we get one bank on board, that's it. We will then have mass adoption. Once one bank goes live with XRP, we will have mass adoption, especially here in the United States. All it takes is, say, JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs to go live with RippleNet and XRP. And that's it. Every other bank has to jump on board, because if they don't, then they will be left behind. That will lead to mass adoption very fast. That is also coming. PayPal founder Peter Thiel was one of the earliest investors in OpenCoin, Ripple, and Ethereum, and he forecast blockchain tokenization and the Internet of Value in 1999. Like Chris Larsen and some members of the PayPal Mafia, he graduated from Stanford. Take a listen to this right here.
Of money altogether, going from digital dollars, from any kind of government-backed currency to purely private currencies. And what a private currency, or what private money, I think, fundamentally means is that there is no medium of exchange. You exchange value for value rather than exchanging value for something the government says has value for value. And
what he's talking about back then even is that the US dollar only has value because the government says it has value. He's talking about actual value, tokenized assets. And here he is today. Take a listen to this. Actually, this is from 2023.
At least PayPal had a suitably grand mission, the kind that post-bubble skeptics would later describe as grandiose. We wanted to create a new internet currency to replace the US dollar.
So they were even coming after the US dollar back then. And you know what it is the fact that the US dollar is like monopoly money. You go to work, you pay taxes on monopoly money. You pay bills with monopoly money because it's backed by nothing. And that's why all these countries are now coming for the dollar. We weaponized it way too many times throughout the world. But let's get back to open. So Signal Technology Foundation, formerly Open Whisper Systems, Open Everything, Open AI, Open Gov, Open Door, Open Society, Open Coin, Ripple, Elon, Peter Thiel, PayPal Mafia, and friends involved in everything open. We'll show you this in more detail on Follow the Money Map coming soon. Now we have connections with Elon, Max Levchin, PayPal founder like Elon and Thiel, and now Signal founder and former CEO Moxie Marlinspike, aka Matthew Rosenfeld. This is getting more interesting. So everything is now connected, and open everything is connected. And this also ties in with X and Elon as well. I want to see this mapping when it comes out, because I think what we are actually witnessing is everything coming together. One massive network. And even Elon, with those money transmitter license throughout the United States, the same way Ripple has those money transmitter license, I think that all happened coincide with each other for a reason. Everything is coming together, but we're not quite there yet. Pundit explores how 1000 XRP can provide significant financial returns. I don't know if the people that write these articles think we're stupid or what. So they say, for instance, if XRP clinched $100, holding just 1000 XRP would result in $100,000. Then they go on to say, if XRP could hit $200, at this price you would have $200,000. Do they think people cannot do simple math at this point? I don't understand why we see these articles every single day. However, if you own 1,000 XRP, I think over probably by the end of next year, you will have $100,000. Because I definitely think $100 XRP is not that far off anymore. I think once we see ISO go live all throughout the world, I'm talking actually being utilized, and then you see XRP moving a hell of a lot of money and Ripple stealing business away from Swift at the same time, that's the closest path to $100 for XRP. Beyond that, it would be tokenization and maybe even custody as well. Plus, I'm still hung up on those liquidity pools, locking away massive amounts of XRP. I don't think we're too far off from that either. I think that's also going to happen over the coming months. I think we're on the verge of the flip of the switch moment, is what I'm saying. A lot of other people agree. You could see it coming together, but it's hard to put a time frame on it. But I definitely don't think it's years away anymore. I think we are very close. This is also coming. Only 6 days, now 5 days, remain until the only banking and credit card token on the XRP ledger gets released, DPay. The first banking token on the XRP ledger is launching the first XRP ledger credit card and plans to reach $1 trillion in transactions by 2025. I want to see how fast this grows out. I want to see how fast this token rises in price as well. This is something I've been keeping an eye on. Mr. Mann says, light fidelity and Internet of Things powering the future. This is how blockchains will stay online and utilized within smart cities. So you see, smart city, energy harvesting, powered nodes, Wi-Fi enabled gateway, third-party cloud. Then you see communication via Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi, smart homes, solar energy, communication, smart industries, wireless transfer energy, communication, infrared radiator, communication, smart transport, smart hospitals, kinetic energy, smart retailers, thermal energy. You know, once we start to see the Internet of Things really evolve, it's going to be an incredible time. Cryptocurrencies like IOTA are really going to rise in value because of this. But Ripple and XRP is also tied to the Internet of Things. Even Hedera and HBAR, Internet of Things. And we're also close to this. And it doesn't even have to be smart cities. Just think about inside of Industry 4.0. Think about inside smart hospitals. Smart homes are all the talk as well. Think about all the devices people connect to their Alexa. You know, turn on the lights, turn on music. You know, everything is pushing in this direction because we're in the digital age. And all you got to do to get rich off of this is invest in the right cryptocurrencies, utility-driven, use case-driven cryptocurrencies, because this is the future. And it's coming very fast. Technology is moving at the speed of light now. And then look at all your appliances. They now get connected to the internet. We are on the verge of everything coming together. I'm talking about every single industry. Tokenization, carbon credits, Internet of Things, Web3, GameFi, Sociify. It's all happening right now in real time. While these cryptocurrencies aren't rising in value, everything is building out in the background at the same time. Wait until all that value comes rushing in to this handful of cryptocurrencies. Now, I want to touch on this really quick because some people say that I'm just a Bitcoin hater. Listen, I don't hate Bitcoin. I'm just pointing out facts. Take a listen to Jamie Dimon here in 2017.
care less what Bitcoin trades for, how it trades, why it trades, who trades it. If you're stupid enough to buy it, you'll pay the price for it one day. I've also told people that it can trade at $100,000 before it trades to zero. Who cares about Bitcoin? The world's economy is so big. We move, JP Morgan alone, these companies, $6 trillion. We move all this money. And Bitcoin in total is all these currencies are $50 billion, maybe $1 billion trades a day. And the other thing I've always made of Bitcoin, governments, and this is not a technological statement, governments are going to crush it one day. Governments like to know where the money is.
So think about that. He's telling you that governments are going to crush it one day. Then take a listen to Christine Lagarde saying Bitcoin is going to be irrelevant in the future. Even the World Economic Forum tells you this. And the biggest argument that they put up is this guy, Larry Fink. Okay, Larry Fink does not care about Bitcoin. He cares about tokenizing Bitcoin ETFs. And those ETFs are going to end up on networks like the XRP Ledger, Stellar, and he's tied in with the World Economic Forum. I can't even play this video or it'll get flagged. That's Nuvo Havari. So Klaus Schwab's boy, Yuval Noah Harari, along with the BIS, doesn't like Bitcoin. When I look at Bitcoin, he says, I don't like it because it's a money built on distrust. Now, what is the narrative that they're pushing right now? Bitcoin is only used for illicit activity. Then Bitcoin is the greatest distraction from the greatest disruption coming to the financial system. And that's blockchain. That's Jenny Johnson, CEO of Franklin Templeton, who also has a Bitcoin ETF, who's also tokenizing assets over there on Stellar. So her Bitcoin ETFs are also going to end up on the Stellar network. Then you go beyond that. They have the world distracted with Bitcoin. Mark my words, XRP will dwarf Bitcoin. You can all celebrate for now, but you just wait and see. I know XRP will be number one, and I also know that XRP will reach $100. Mathematically and logically speaking, it makes absolute 0 sense for XRP not to reach $100. And that's what I've been saying as well. You know, when they're all telling you that Bitcoin has no place in the new financial system, it's not going to be relevant in the future. The reason they're saying that is because utility is going to drive this market. And once cryptocurrencies like XRP and XLM start rising in value, all of a sudden, all the attention is going to be on these cryptocurrencies. The money's going to flow out of Bitcoin into these cryptocurrencies. But the difference is the money's never going back to Bitcoin. Not once utility is driving the price. That's all I'm saying. And the reason I'm saying that is because I know a lot of retail investors are invested in Bitcoin. I don't want to see them get trapped in it. I think this next run up is going to be absolutely incredible for Bitcoin. But I think after that, we don't know what's going to happen because utility is changing the world. A new financial system is coming. And go back to Larry Fink for a moment. Okay, the guy works at the World Economic Forum, or he's partnered with the World Economic Forum. Sorry. I think he's only getting involved with Bitcoin because there's some sort of dark side to this. In other words, I look at BlackRock as a Trojan horse for Bitcoin. And I said that from day one. This guy went from hating Bitcoin to all of a sudden loving Bitcoin. And I think it had to happen for a reason, because Bitcoin also is competition to a CBDC, and they are not going to have competition to a CBDC. No government is going to allow that. But until it all happens and XRP makes you very rich in the very near future, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.